Football presentations are meant to be moments of excitement and celebration, introducing new signings to the adoring fans. However, not all player unveilings go as planned. In fact, some of them turn into complete disasters, providing more laughs than cheers. From technical glitches to awkward poses, these blunders become legendary for all the wrong reasons. Stick around for number 3. I swear, it's something straight out of Harry Potter. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more football mishaps and memorable moments. See, presentations are supposed to be seamless events that boost the players and the club's image. However, that is not always the case because things go south, and they do so in spectacular fashion. Speaking of fashion, number 1. Moise Kean is one heck of a dresser. This dude has cemented himself as one of football's coolest and most clean-looking fellas. Heck, the dude even has pictures of Tupac Shakur on his IG. Thing is, Moise Kean may be stylish when it comes to clothes and whatnot, but when it comes to football, it's a whole different story. See, after signing with Fiorentina in hopes of reviving his career, the club decided to make his presentation super fun and interactive, especially for the younger fans. Kean started by warmly greeting the young supporters, sparking a buzz of excitement and anticipation. But that's not all. The supporters thought they'd just be there to see a flashy new player sign for their club and call it a day. However, the club took an unexpected turn by whipping out something totally unexpected. Not even Moise himself was prepared for what was about to unfold. A giant Velcro dartboard. The dartboard was brought out so Kean would show off his aim and accuracy with some footballs. The crowd watched eagerly as Kean lined up his first shot. Boom! It landed respectably close to the target, earning cheers from the audience. But then things took a hilarious turn. His next 3 shots, total misses, bouncing off the board like they had a vendetta against them. The spectators couldn't help but gasp awkwardly with each miss. Sensing that the demo wasn't going as planned, Kean decided to wrap it up. Despite the less than stellar performance, the young fans cheered him on, showing their support and admiration. The event ended on a slightly awkward note, but Kean handled it with grace, smiling and thanking the fans for their encouragement. Sure, it wasn't a showcase of his best skills, but it definitely highlighted the unpredictable and entertaining nature of live events. Kinda like the time number 2 Ousmane Dembele joined FC Barcelona. After signing as one of the most expensive players in the club's history, Dembele had very high expectations. He was Neymar Jr.'s replacement after all. Barcelona pulled out all the stops for a grand unveiling at the iconic Camp Nou, with thousands of fans buzzing to see their shiny new star. Dembele stepped into the pitch, ready to dazzle the crowd with some skills. And hey, dude is a 5-star skill move player on FIFA after all, so what could possibly go wrong? What was supposed to be a mesmerizing showcase quickly spiraled into an unexpected fiasco. Dembele started with the basics, keep-ups. Simple, right? Well, not quite. He fumbled and dropped the ball repeatedly, struggling to keep control. The crowd watched in stunned silence as his attempts at more complex tricks backfired spectacularly. At one point, he tried to do something that looked like a rainbow flick, but not quite like the normal rainbow flick we're all accustomed to. That looks like a move my dog does in the backyard of our garden. His footwork was off and had no tech whatsoever. Despite his visible discomfort, Dembele soldiered on, but the blunders kept piling up. The tension in the stadium was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. The rocky start was perhaps a sign of the challenges Dembele would face at Barcelona. While his presentation was far from perfect, it underscored the immense pressure and sky-high expectations that come with playing for FC Barcelona, as well as being such high-profile transfers. Speaking of high-profile football presentations that went extremely wrong, this next player is night and day to what we see now versus the time a club unveiled him in front of its majestic fans. Can you guess who it is? I'm talking about Vinicius Jr. But before that, a brief conversation about Halloween. Yes, more specifically, what was number 3 Arturo Vidal's wearing in his latest unveiling? Homie looks like Mordecai from that one episode of Regular Show. Nice outfits, losers! But wait a minute, before you all start clowning him, there's actually a pretty neat reason for this. See, Chile is a nation known for the production of footballers such as Elias Figueroa, Marcelo Salas, Alexis Sanchez, and of course, Claudio Bravo. Next in line is Arturo Vidal, who played for many famous clubs such as Bayern Munich, Juventus, Inter Milan, and FC Barcelona. After achieving success in Europe, it was only fitting he be honored in the best way possible after making his return to his boyhood club, Colo Colo. Not only was the club thrilled for his return after 17 years away, the entire city of Santiago was thrilled too. 35,000 fans pulled up to see him presented in one of the strangest ways known to mankind. He arrived in a helicopter before riding on a horse whilst wearing a crown and holding a sword as if he were a king. According to one fan, the nickname given to Vidal is Rey Arturo, which means King Arthur in English. Hence, why the extravagant unveiling? Okay, don't get me wrong, a grown man pulling up dressed like we're still living in the medieval days is one thing, but a dude eating pizza during his presentation? Now that's something straight out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm talking about number 4, Paolo Di Canio. Let's run it back to the 1990s for the unforgettable presentation of Paolo Di Canio at Sheffield Wednesday. Alongside fellow Italian Benito Carbone, Di Canio was introduced to the fans in a manner that can only be described as, well, let's say unconventional. It seemed the club's grasp on Italian culture was straight out of Google. The highlight of their unveiling was a photo that quickly became infamous. Picture this, Di Canio and Carbone standing there, biting into what looked like uncooked supermarket pizza. This bizarre and somewhat humorous presentation left fans and the media scratching their heads. It was clear the club wanted to inject some fun into the event, opting for some light Italian fun. To put it simply, it is safe to assume that the execution was far from ideal. The awkward poses and questionable pizza choice of Hawaiian turned the photo into a viral sensation, and let's just say not in a good way. It became a source of both amusement and embarrassment. As far as embarrassment goes, number 5 Vinicius Jr. had an afternoon to forget. No, seriously, I was just as shocked as you when I found out that Vinicius, yes, Vinicius, can't even do the most basic of skills, albeit the fact that dude hails from Rio de Janeiro. So, get this. In 2018, Real Madrid signed a wonder kid from Flamengo for a total of 46 million euros. Normally, when you sign a player for that much money, the least you could expect are some well-executed skill moves. However, when it came to Vinicius' unveiling and presentation, things didn't go as planned. Homie lost the Brazilian flair in an instant. Sure, he managed a few kick-ups here and there, but when it came to more complex skills like the drop chop, dude had no idea what to do. But hey, who am I to judge? I'm just a nerd making football videos after all. Coming in at number 6 is yet another Real Madrid presentation gone wrong. This time, Theo Hernandez is the player of focus. Now, let's talk about Theo Hernandez's unforgettable presentation at Real Madrid in 2017. Theo, who's now one of the top left backs globally, had quite the rocky start at the Santiago Bernabeu. Picture this, a grand ceremony, fans buzzing with excitement, all set to see their new star show off his football magic. Theo strutted onto the pitch, ready to dazzle the crowd. However, things didn't go as planned. From the get-go, things went south. Like the other players on the list, he tried to do keep-ups, but the ball seemed to have a mind of its own. It slipped, it bounced, and Theo just couldn't keep it together. Each fumbled attempt only made things more cringeworthy. The fans who had gathered to cheer their new hero were left in stunned silence as Theo's skills seemed to have vanished into thin air. Desperation kicked in, and in a last-ditch effort to salvage some pride, Theo kissed the Real Madrid badge, hoping to win over the crowd with his passion and commitment. But let's be real, it was awkward. I've never seen anything this awkward since the last time I tried to kiss my crush. But let's just say that's a story for another day, alright? And as for Theo Hernandez, his fairy tale at Real Madrid was simply not to be. His poor presentation quite literally foreshadowed the struggles he'd faced at Madrid. His rocky presentation mirrored the tough road ahead in securing a regular spot on the team. Fast forward to now, and Real Madrid is probably kicking themselves for not sticking with him, given their current hunt for a top left back, while Theo continued to prove himself as one of the best left backs in world football. Next up is number 7, Omar Gonzalez. Let's dive into one of the most bizarre and unforgettable presentations in football history. Omar Gonzalez at Pachuca in Mexico. Imagine this, a room full of excited media and fans buzzing with curiosity. Suddenly, the doors open and in walks Gonzalez, not in a football kit, not even in casual clothes, but in a full Darth Vader costume. Yes, you heard that right. That man made his entrance clad in the iconic black armor and helmet of the Star Wars villain. The room went from curious murmurs to stunned silence as everyone tried to figure out what on earth was happening. Instead of the usual football gear, the imposing figure of Darth Vader was now the star of the show. Although there was some confusion in the media room, some people actually found it fascinating. No, seriously, they thought a grown man wearing a full Darth Vader costume was a brilliant and creative move, tapping into pop culture to make a lasting impression. Then again, it was certainly a memorable way to introduce a new player. Others, however, were scratching their heads, wondering what Darth Vader had to do with football and why Pachuca thought this was a good idea. Despite the mixed reactions, one thing was clear. The presentation got people talking. It generated a buzz that few other unveilings have managed. Whether you thought it was cool or just plain weird, Omar Gonzalez's Darth Vader moment is now a legendary talking point. Love it or hate it, you can't deny that it was absolutely unforgettable. And hey, at least it was nothing like number 8's Santi Corzola's presentation. See, after several years away, Villarreal wanted to welcome back their star player in a very memorable way. Frankly, by pulling out all the stops. And that's when they decided to sprinkle a little magic into the mix. Unfortunately, the result was more confusing than captivating. On the day of presentation, the Estadio de la Cerámica was packed with thousands of fans, and all eyes on a massive beaker in the middle of the pitch, designed and printed with the club's crest. As dramatic music played, the beaker began to fill with smoke, while a magician hired for the occasion waved his hands theatrically, adding to the suspense. The smoke slowly cleared, and everyone held their breath. Who would emerge from their smoky cauldron of mystery? Drumroll, please. Out stepped Santi Cazorla, fully dressed in his Villarreal kit, to the applause and cheers of the fans. But despite the cheers, the whole setup felt a bit awkward and out of place for a football presentation. The magic trick, while undeniably creative, didn't quite hit the mark. Instead of wowing the crowd, it left many fans scratching their heads and puzzled rather than impressed. It was an ambitious attempt to make the unveiling unique, but the execution fell flat, turning into a memorable yet strange moment in Cazorla's career. As we come down to the last moment on our list, number 9 Sergino Dest takes the spot for the worst football presentation. See, back in 2020, Sergino Dest was one of the hottest talents on display. Fresh off his impressive stint at Ajax, the young American defender made a high-profile move to the Catalan Giants, and the expectations were sky-high. The stage was set for him to dazzle the enthusiastic fans with his footballing prowess. Dest stepped into the pitch at Camp Nou, ready to show off his skills. It's worth mentioning that he did not just step out to a random pitch. No, sir. He was in fact stepping out to one of the most famous grounds in football history. This is the same grass that our GOAT, Messi, previously walked on. And with that said, there was definitely pressure on our boy Sergino to show the Barcelona fans what he brings to the table. What was supposed to be a smooth showcase quickly turned into a nerve-wracking sweatfest. It was as if the Barcelona gods, no, Messi himself, had cursed Sergino. The anxiety on his face told the story no better than his attempted skills. Everyone could see the ball seemed to have a mind of its own, refusing to cooperate with Dest's every move. Every trick he tried ended in failure. He struggled with even the most basic keep-ups, unable to lift the ball adequately. Each failed attempt was met with an uncomfortable silence from the small crowd in attendance. You could almost hear the collective gasp at the pressure of the moment overwhelmed them. It was painfully clear that this wasn't the debut Dest had hoped for. His nerves got the better of him, turning what should have been a triumphant moment into a series of unfortunate mishaps. But hey, everyone has off days, right? But not me. I've been working so hard, you'd swear I'm a clone of Cristiano Ronaldo himself. Speaking of Cristiano Ronaldo, you'll most definitely enjoy this video. The craziest free kick goals you'll ever see.